Season high, 47 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. And he said some things last night that I want to play. And this team, the starters, they've been here before. This is Steph Curry's 14th season. And we'll get to the calls in a second. 888-957-9570. But Steph Curry last night at the podium was talking about, the team, and they've got to improve. And, he was kind of joking like, man, I've never been happier after Game 11. A win in Game 11. Man, I've never been happier. And he's confident. But he was asked if it was a burden for him to play like an MVP every game for this team to win.
That's a good question.
Here's what he said.
Not the way I'm playing as a burden, because you expect to play like that every night. But it's the message of just how thin the margin is of winning in this league. There's no secret about just how we have some roller coaster rides in the middle of games. And you have, like I said, you come out in the first quarter and you have a pretty good lead. You have not just a score, but we have control of the game. And then guys get going. Malik Monk hits 3 threes. D Fox gets going. And you look up and you're down. And it's part of our story right now, but it's something that we need to correct if we really want to be a serious team that's going to try to be who we say we are. So whatever it takes to make those changes as a group, we got to do that.
Man, that's profound. The margins are extremely thin. Look, you could say the Warriors got slightly worse or whatever, or the bench got dramatically worse, which I agree with. Also, the league's getting better. There's a lot of really good, athletic, hungry teams that are coming for their throats right now.
Warriors are older.
Yes.
Less athletic.
It's undeniable.
It's undeniable.
Yeah, I agree.
But this bench, though, has come in and, look, one thing we can't do this morning is blame James Wiseman because he didn't play a second last night. So that's done.
No.
We've pivoted from that. But the fact is, the combinations,
yeah,
whether it's Kuminga, Moody, Poole, Jerome, Anthony Lamb.
JaMychal Green.
JaMychal Green didn't even play last night. Steve Kerr was talking about him in the pregame presser, said, hey, he's a small ball 5 now. We're going to try him. He didn't play a second last night.
And I'm okay with that because I don't think he's deserved it.
I wanted to see more Wiseman Kuminga, but you know what? Right now, you have to earn your playing time. And these kids are not earning their playing time.
So, Kuminga plays last night, and I want to stop for just a second. Him and Moody. Why did Kuminga not go back in there, in your estimation?
Because he was lost on defense and didn't know where to be offensively.
Agreed.
And to me, it's a little sad. It's a little sad because my thought process leaving the studio last night was they're going to have to probably trade the youngsters if they want to be a serious championship team. Because in the playoffs, you need to go 8 deep.
And Bonte, you might have to attach something else that you like to those guys. I don't know. Is it JP? Is it someone else?
You can't trade JP right now. He just signed the extension.
So you can't trade him at all?
Yeah, I believe you have to wait till next offseason.
Well, then they need him to play. He's playing horrific, and it's hard for me to not, I know we want to obsess on Kuminga, and I'm with you on, right. We're getting to the point where all three of the youngsters.
We're not there yet.
No,
we're not there yet. We're not even close. It's November the 8th, so I don't want to sound insane saying, hey, you didn't trade this guy, this guy.
You've got 3 roster spots and $20 million, essentially, if you calculate them all. 5 if you add the Ryan's, Rollins and PBJ. Yeah. You've got guys soaking up money and spots on that bench, and they're not helping you at all. And I don't want to just blame the youngsters because I think that their problems are deeper than that. But I look at someone like Jordan Poole, and I'm just specifically looking at him. If you tell me he had a 1-year wonder, I'd listen to that. If you told me he's completely zapped because Draymond knocked him out and he can't get his mojo back, I'd listen to that. If you told me that they went on their first road trip as a team and it was the first time that they were all together for an extended period of time and it's just awkward right now, I'd believe that. If you told me that Jordan Poole is trying to do too much, lost his confidence, going on something in his personal life, I will listen to any reason why JP is playing as bad as he is right now. I'll believe anything. He's playing unplayable basketball.
Here's what Curry had to say about Jordan Poole.
You just got to find that balance of, one, we know who he is. We know what he's capable of. He's shown some really big flashes of it at times early throughout the season. But for the most part, it's just continuing to stay confident that, one, he's on the scout report for most teams now. He's not going to sneak up on anybody. But you got to kind of let the game come to you. We've had a lot of conversations around that, like how I see the game and how he sees the game. And, again, just instilling confidence that he's that guy out there and he's going to help us win games. He helped us win a championship last last year. So you have to maintain your confidence through the rough patches and not let it attack the way that you carry yourself out there. So that's his biggest challenge, and I think he'll be up for it.
B, you referenced in the playoffs with Jordan Poole, the Memphis series got a little too physical for him. Doesn't it feel like, as Curry kind of alludes to the game planning, that now the book is out? Davion Mitchell did it last time. I'm sure there were other guys. Like, I'm going to get up in you, I'm going to get real physical, and I'm going to force you to play to play off my physicality.
Well, it happened the second game of the season against the LA Clippers. Curry scored 45 last year. Go back and watch that game. And the Clippers got into Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
They got into him, but Darrell Wright was like, them boys getting a little physical with JP. Getting a little physical. Right now, physicality. I saw it with Herb Jones Friday night in New Orleans. Herb Jones was getting into Jordan Poole. And he struggled against the Pelicans when he had the ball in his hands, when he started that basketball game. Herb Jones was getting into JP. Ingram was getting into JP.
Yeah.
Alvarado was getting into JP. Alvarado scored a quick 7 in the second quarter Friday night against the Warriors down in New Orleans. Getting into Jordan Poole. So, first of all, he's got to be more physical with the ball. He's got to stop over-dribbling.
Yes.
Dribble. And what's happening right now for him, he's a young man that knows his biggest impact comes from scoring. He needs to score the basketball. That's his job with his team.
I just feel he's not shooting.
Well, he's not shooting because everything else gets into his dope. He got called for another carry yesterday.
He did.
So when his offense is not rolling,
that's a good point.
It affects his defense. It affects his decision-making. He starts chirping at the refs. And all of a sudden, you're saying, well, Jordan Poole's unplayable tonight. Can't play him.
Well, what's crazy is, like, okay, there was a sequence, and it's one play. And we talk about, like, a play here, a play there. There's one play where he does do a great job, help defense, where a guy's dribbling by whoever it was on the perimeter, right. And JP comes sliding over and just picks his pocket. And then he comes down, and, like, he has an open three, and he just hesitates a little, and then he throws it to someone else, and then just backs up and just kind of standing there. And it's one play, but I'm saying the old JP would have came down confident, boom, I'm going to pull from 30 feet out. I'm not even going to think about it. Everything feels like he's a second late and he's overthinking. Everything does.
Let's go to Gus and Tracy. Gus, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, good morning, fellas. How you guys doing?
I'm good.
Listen, JP, man, he's got to start manning up, man. He's got to get over it. You know, for him signing that big contract and sitting on the bench in crunch time in fourth quarter and Lamb out there. You know, he's just got to get over and just start playing ball like he knows how, you know. And the bench, oh my God, the bench is just, they're so bad. I think they outscored us, 55-15 last night?
I think it was 49-15. 49-15, Gus.
Yep. 49, okay, I was kind of close.
You were.
But man, I don't know what they're going to do about the bench. Seriously, I don't know what could they possibly do about it, because that bench is terrible. Well, and all the young guys, they need to go to the G League, man, because they give you nothing at all, absolutely nothing during the game, you know. But you know, 2 points. JP had 2 points and more turnovers than he had points last night.
Yeah,
and I think he's just got to get
invisible.
over it. You know,
it's not good right now for JP. He's in a funk.
Well,
he's in a funk.
They tried to start him in the third quarter, B, and I felt like they were trying to get the offense going. What was it? It was Steph, JP to start the...
It was a fast five lineup. Lineup. Steph, JP, Klay, Wiggins, Draymond. And the first possession in the third quarter, JP gets penetration.
Yeah.
It creates a wide open three for Andrew Wiggins. Yeah. He nails it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. You got some juice.
It felt like the ball was moving around.
The ball was popping around.
Yeah.
And then he just disappeared. Did he just disappear?
What? Why? Like, what's going on? Like, I notice when Klay and him are out there, it feels like, you know, Klay's in Chuck mode and JP is kind of like in I'm deferring too much. I don't know what happened to the confident. I'm gonna try to rip your throat out on every possession. I'm rhythmic. I'm playing within the flow of the game. Jordan Poole. I don't know what happened to that guy.
Well, you heard Curry say the scouting report is out on him. Scouting report is out on him. So now Jordan Poole has to adjust. The entire league studied tape of Jordan Poole. They studied him in the playoffs. They realized that he got this big money, and they realized that he's a vital piece to the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
So how do you slow them? Beating the Warriors? Well, you know what? If you take away JP, who's one of the only facilitators on this roster, He's only one of the only shot creators for himself on this roster.
Who are the facilitators on this team right now?
Steph Curry and Jordan Poole.
Draymond's
a facilitator,
I was going to say, I was going to throw him in there.
But guys who could create their own shot.
Yes, you're right.
Klay can't create his own shot. Klay has never been able to create his own shot.
And Wiggins is more of an ISO, slasher, catch and shoot guy.
So Jordan Poole's needed, and it starts with him. Now, you want to argue with me and say, well, he needs veterans around him. I'm here for that. Then what do you do about that? Do you flip youngsters? Do you look at Indiana and say, okay, what's up with Miles Turner? Do you give up on the experiment that is James Wiseman and Jonathan Kuminga and say, let me go get Miles Turner?
So I'm not opposed to it, but I'm asking you sincerely. What does 13 minutes of Miles Turner do to help their perimeter defense?
It's a guy who knows what to do. Here's the problem with the youngsters defensively.
Oh, well, they're horrific.
Or offensively. If Steve Kerr's out there saying, run the split action.
And no one's coming up to screen. Moody in particular came up late as hell, and Curry's pointing at him.
This was on the fast break.
You're saying
Curry was like, he was looking at Moody going, get to the corner, go,
that was the other one,
go. And then the same possession, he's like, yo, get out of there. Looney, at times, telling Anthony Lamb, yo, run the split action. Get your ass down there in the block. Run the split, set the screen. So when you got these youngsters in the NBA, and you're yelling floppy, you're running horns, you're running split action, all these different offensive sets. These youngsters, it takes them a second to process. And then defensively, you're on the other end. You're not talking. Hey, screen left, screen. It's coming to your right. Hey, they're not talking. That's what Miles Turner does for you. He says, hey, there's a screen coming your way. I'm stepping up here. You run an offensive set, he knows right away because he's been in this league. That's what Miles Turner does for you, whether it's 13 minutes, 20 minutes, and I'm just throwing a name out there. But maybe you need to revisit that role.
Well, I just, to me, like, backup big is one of the needs to me. Right now, perimeter defense. Like, perimeter defense for me is the starter. They need somebody else who can lock down defensively on the perimeter. They feel a defender short the majority of the time, and that's what it feels. They need a smart, and these guys are very hard to find. They need a smart, high IQ defender. I don't even care if you could shoot at this point. Are you athletic, and can you man up?
Well, I'm looking at the stats here and just watching the game. The starters in the first stint in the first quarter built a 12-point lead.
Okay.
The starters who played most of the minutes in the fourth quarter, think about the minute allocation. Anthony Lamb played 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. Looney played 8. Klay played all 12.
See, Looney has to play more in the fourth quarter. For me, for my money, you need to close with Looney more.
Look at all these minutes. Wiggins played 12.
Yes.
Klay played 12.
Jesus.
Looney played 8-15. Draymond played over 10 minutes.
Wow.
Steph played 10 minutes.
I can't remember the last time in a November game they all played that heavy minutes in the fourth quarter. That might not have ever happened.
Well, they outscored the Kings 37-25. So that tells me the starters are playing a bit better defense than anybody else, and they're giving up more offense. They're giving you more offense. So the starters is not the problem to me. That's the least of their problems. They're scoring. They're defending. They're building leads. I'm looking at the bench here. He had 2 players come off the bench and play. Jordan Poole played 2 minutes and 15 seconds in the fourth quarter.
He didn't even deserve that. I thought his third quarter stint started off really well, and then it was like, okay, what's he doing? He's standing around too much. He's not moving off ball. He doesn't know where to be. He feels reluctant to shoot.
It's not good.
B. I'm gonna ask the question that everyone's thinking. The Draymond punch. How much? I mean, it's impossible to quantify the exact amount, but how much do you think that is affecting what's going on right now? I mean, he's a 20-something-year-old young guy who felt like he had the world by the balls, and now. I don't know. Maybe everywhere he goes, it's all people talk about. Maybe he's just insecure. Like, how much is that really affecting this guy's play right now? Because it feels unavoidable to talk about.
I don't know. It's a question for Jordan Poole. Because I don't know. I saw him ball out in Detroit. The 12 points in 52 seconds. Said, damn, JP's back. He's back. Then he gets called for 3 carries in Miami. Then he struggles in Orlando. He struggles in New Orleans. Maybe it's a thing that never goes away.
Has he had you referenced the Detroit. Has he had a great game yet? Game, not moments.
October 23rd against Sac, he was good.
Okay.
Scored to 24.
Good. You know what? You're right. Yes, you're right.
I thought maybe Miami.
He was okay in the Miami.
He could have been okay.
And Tyler Hero, it felt like, and him were kind of like invisible in the second half.
Yeah.
I think Tyler got hurt in that game.
It's a struggle right now for him. Let me see. He had a good stretch against Phoenix. Remember, he had a good stretch in the second quarter against
But then
Phoenix?
they also got blown out in the second half.
They did. No, Poole wasn't good in that Miami game. 11 points, 7 assists. 7 assists. That was good. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing. Hold on. Read the league. I'll let you continue. You are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM, and AC1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game for the best and most up-to-date sports coverage. And do not forget, you can also watch us every single day on our YouTube and Twitch streams. Just log on and search 95.7 The Game. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel while you are there. By the way, shout out to the YouTube chat. They're open again.
I just look, everyone could say it's November. It doesn't matter. They're about championship, all these different things, and you can sweep it under the rug. And I look at normally I would. I'm watching this team and I'm saying to myself, something's way off on this. Yes, there's personnel issues. Feels like there's chemistry issues. And I'll start with this. It's not me. Look at Steph Curry's demeanor. Look at his emotions. Look at what his verbal and nonverbal actions were in that fourth quarter as he's having a historic night. And you tell me if Steph Curry's not frustrated.
Well, of course he's frustrated. He's playing heavy minutes. We all expected the second unit, the youngsters, to be ahead of schedule. We expected these guys to be ahead of schedule. And right now, they're not. And right now, it's costing his team. But you know what? They got to win last night. Got to win. I'll take that. You get 3 days off. And these are very important 3 days for practice.
Yes, I
scrimmaging,
agree.
rotation purposes.
Agreed.
Jordan Poole shooting in the gym after the game last night. Klay Thompson to get some rest. Because you know what? The Cleveland Cavaliers are coming Friday. And I know they lost last night to the Clippers. They pulled a 12-point lead with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Cleveland Cavaliers. But those jokers ain't no joke. All right? Jared Allen grabbed 20 rebounds last night. Mobley dropped 26 and 8. Cleveland Cavaliers are tough, and they got athleticism.
You lost to some of the worst teams in the league. You can't take anyone lightly right now.
You can't.
Like, and that's my bigger thing. Like, I know they got the win, and maybe 2 weeks from now, I'll look like a raging lunatic, and they're gonna go on this little run, and everything's gonna be fine, and they'll figure it out. And that's a possibility. The team I'm watching right now looks spiritually broken. That's what it looks like to me. They look like one guy, Steph Curry, and a little bit on Wiggins are dragging them and carrying them. And I'm not trying to dismiss the efforts of Looney and other guys that are trying. They're trying hard. They just look very broken and old and discombobulated. Whether it's offensive flow, whether it's defensive assignments, whether it's chemistry, it looks broken.
Let's go to Tim and Raleigh. Tim, what's happening? You're on the roast.
What's up, guys? Hey, Bonte, I can't disagree with you more on the youngsters, and let's dig to the root cause of the roster construction and the epic fails. Okay, DiVincenzo is not GP, no effect. Okay,
I never said he was.
Thinking.
Yeah, he's not.
Jermichael Green is not Otto Porter.
Agreed.
Epic fail. We did not. Wiseman is not the Elisa in the fact of spacing the floor. Epic fail. I cannot say now. You combine that with what Jordan Poole is absolutely a disappearing act, combined with Klay Thompson being a ball hog and just looking for years. I cannot disagree with you more. Kuminga, I don't need if Kuminga, Moody, I don't need any more from them if these other guys were not epic fails. Kuminga was 2 for 5 last night. I don't see him out there lost. He was out there. He's in the motion of the offense. He's not gunning, trying to get his. The guy's just playing a floor game. He missed 2 threes, okay, but he's not out there gunning. Attacked the rim twice. I mean, if you think Joe Lacob is going to sign off on trading Jonathan Kuminga, Joe Lacob is in this thing for the long game. 10, 15 years down the road is what he's seeing. I don't see that happening, guys. But
Tim, let me ask you this.
You got to get to the root cause of the problem.
Tim, let me ask you this. Joe Lacob's paying the most tax in NBA history.
Ever.
You think Joe Lacob is a patient guy? You think Joe Lacob wants to be a 500 team paying this much money?
Fonte, the only thing I can see out of that possibly, it may be some movement on the team if JP doesn't get his head out of wherever it is. Possibly him.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Kuminga at 20 years old, I did not expect him to do any more, any less, and he should not.
But the organization. But Tim, real quick, I'll let you finish, Tim. the organization expected more from Jonathan Kuminga and James
I
Wiseman,
agree with that,
which is why they moved off of Otto Porter Jr. in GP2.
They expected their roles to expand.
They expected those guys to be ready to roll.
Slightly better than what we are
and
now.
Moses Moody, for that matter, Tim.
Do we really know that? If JaMychal Green
we know that.
But if they were balling out, right? JaMychal Green and DiVincenzo were balling out, we would still be looking for the 15 to 20 minutes J.K. was giving us last year. And he was very successful in that role. He has been thrust into doing more because, number one, JaMychal is doing nothing. DiVincenzo is not there. And Jordan Poole, if Jordan Poole was just average, if he was just anywhere near the same as last year, we got 4 more wins.
I agree with that, Tim. But how about this? I look at Franz Wagner, who got to play a lot more in Orlando as a rookie. He was a number 8 overall pick. He looks a lot more ready to play the NBA game than Jonathan Kuminga. Paolo Banchero looks a lot more ready to play the NBA game now. He played a year or 2, so I'll give him that.
He's an outlier.
He's a great player. But these guys don't even look ready to play, Tim. They don't even look ready to roll.
Well, and also I would say that the style of play that the Warriors want to play is a more sophisticated, difficult style of play to grasp for a young player, specifically like Kuminga. Like, I actually think Wagner in their system might look, very comparable. Right. But I also think Kuminga going to Orlando, he would look more efficient. Does that make sense?
No doubt. It makes a lot of sense.
But look, can we agree here whether we think that Kuminga's role is exactly what they thought or less? I think that they took a miscalculation in terms of whatever the output of Kuminga was expected and JaMychal Green versus what they got last year from Kuminga and Otto Porter Jr. or whoever you want to throw in the bucket. However you do the math, the calculation's off. They're getting less production from those guys than we all wanted and that they anticipated. I don't think that's even a deniable thing at this point.
No doubt. All right. 888-957-9570. What's the biggest issue with the Golden State Warriors right now? Our tone is crazy coming off of a win. They beat the Sacramento Kings. Look, hey.
They played like it was a finals game.
Look, can I tell you guys, Sacramento had won 3 or 4 coming into that one.
I know.
Sacramento was desperate to snap their 6-game losing streak to the Golden State Warriors. De'Aaron Fox has played at an all-star level. Sac's got athleticism. I'm going to be happy with the win. And then let's see. Let's see what happens Friday against Cleveland.
They got to go on a run here. Like, to quiet everything down, they got to go on a run.
Well, even if they go on a run, it's not going to quiet everything down.
Well, we're
in November, Joe.
I mean,
we're in November.
Ponte, can you admit it does look very bleak?
And Steph, I trust they'll figure it out.
Of course.
Steph, I trust they'll figure it out.
Curry.
They can't win like this, though. There's no doubt.
It's unsustainable for him to drop 50 and win by the teeth. And then pray that Sacramento doesn't get a foul call at the end that they should have gotten, or foul Steph Curry in the baseline, in the corner, when everyone's screaming from their bench 2 steps away. Foul him.